We always put the people first with the People First podcast. Let's get it. Yeah. Welcome back. Another edition SPT show, podcast, experience, whatever you call it. We're going to have a great time. Today, we got one of the best in Western New York. His billboards all over the place. You can't drive nowhere down the street without seeing this dude, man. Him and his team over at Heritage, real estate team, whatever you call it. What y'all's name?
The Heritage team at Keller Williams.
He got it lit. I'm telling you. In the Falls, I don't know. How many years have you been the number one real estate agent out this way?
Yeah, in the Falls, we've been on top probably for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Been in real estate for 6 years with,
Okay.
My partners.
No, he definitely dominating his team, strong. He got his own building. I'm telling you, a good guy doing great things in the community. We're about to get into his mind, see how he thinks. The mind of an entrepreneur, somebody's not afraid to take a risk, step out on his own, and make things happen. These are the champions of life. These are the people, we get good game from, we look up to, we learn from. And let's give him our full attention. Welcome, Noah. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate you, brother.
Sure.
What a magical introduction. Happy to be here.
Let's get it. Let's see where it started. So where are you from?
Yeah, originally from Miami, Florida.
Okay.
Moved here when I was 10 with my mother. We've been in the Falls ever since. So, yeah, that's what I know.
Yeah.
I know the Falls pretty well.
Falls, the king of the Falls. So tell me this. I just moved here maybe 3 years ago from Atlanta. The Falls is a magical area, a lot of tourism, one of the best waterfall nature scenes in the world. Why don't you think it's up to par as the Canadian side? Like, you look over the water and you see action and jumping, but over here outside of the Falls, in a few other nice neighborhoods, but the rest of it is kind of like, down and dumpy. Like, what do you think so?
Yeah, I think the Falls has a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
Let me say that. And it's hard for me to put blame on one thing, what's gotten the Falls to be here. But what's certain is that there is tried and true all around. You have Buffalo, one of the hottest markets in the nation right now.
Yeah.
You have Niagara Falls, Canada, which is one of the biggest tourist destinations in all the falls.
Yeah.
And actually, Niagara Falls, New York is still one of the top honeymoon spots in the world, believe it or not.
For sure.
That's shocking to me too, to be honest with you. Being here, and I'm sure it's shocking to you, but we do have something great to offer.
For sure.
One of the great wonders of the world, whether it is right now or not, it is great in its right. And I think that there's a lot of potential. And there's a lot of things coming to the Falls right now. There's a lot of development happening, more development happening in the last 2 years than has happened in the last 10 years. Oh. You have a lot of new life coming to the Falls, younger people, different ethnicities. Yeah. So we're becoming more diverse, and through diversity, we'll grow.
Yeah.
And I'm certain of that. It's already happening. I invest heavily here in the Falls. All the people around me invest heavily here in the Falls.
Yeah.
And with a couple key things happening, I think we'll be in a great spot.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's the prices. I tell people my rent is like $800 a month. Like, I haven't paid that. I don't know how many years, probably 10 years before I had 800. Like, I like the Falls because I stay focused. I love nature. I go hiking in the gorge. I get to focus and really knock out some work tasks and stay focused and keep me out of trouble. I like to say that. So shout out to the Falls. Definitely, the real estate prices, Buffalo and here are still comparable. I'm from the South, so Tennessee, you can still get prices. It's really cheaper than that, like some rural areas, super. So I think it's nothing but upside here, a gold mine, untapped potential. And yeah, we about to get into some real estate questions, though, because I know people who tune in, they like investments and they like getting to the money. So we got a real estate professional who really kicking it. So
it's a lot easier than people think, too. I'm only 25 and I own multiple properties.
That's awesome.
So it's really not as hard as people think. A lot of people think that investing in real estate is a lot harder than it actually is. They think they need a lot of money. Yeah. And you don't. There's guys that say this too. I'm not the only one. If you follow Grant Cardone, he teaches you how you can buy houses with no money at all. So it's definitely possible, and it's not something that I came up with, but it's just following models that have been set before and continuing on the path.
Let's get it. What strategies or techniques do you think attribute to your success to be such a high performer in the real estate industry?
Just being relentless and not wanting to lose, and that's why so many athletes are great. And you ask what makes them great. It's hard work, right? You know, it's who's going to wake up in the morning, who's actually going to, you know, lead generate, go out there, look for business, who actually wants to have those hard conversations. And when those hard conversations come, who's going to navigate them? Because a lot of people, maybe they get to the center stage and they fold, you know, and it's consistently not folding when you're on the center stage. And that's in real estate, that's in, you know, athletics, that's in everything. You know, when you do put yourself in a position to get the limelight, capitalize on it and then continue, because everybody can do something once, but how many times can you consecutively hit, right?
Like that.
That's what makes you, you know, a hitter.
Yeah.
Everybody can hit a home run once. Hit a home run 5, 10, 15 times. Well, then it becomes a reputation.
Yeah.
Right. So what helped make me good is I made a reputation really fast.
Yeah.
I made a couple key plays that
Yeah.
allowed me to get out there and make a name for myself. And then it was just riding the wave.
Yeah.
You know, you just need to make sure that you're living up to your brand, consecutively helping people. Word of mouth is great. Like when you do people right, they will reward you. The universe will reward you. God will reward you. Right.
Yeah.
You just need to continue to do right. And I think never, you know, obviously don't cheat anybody.
Yeah.
You know, be genuine, but be a shark.
For sure.
You know? And when you're a genuine shark, you can go far.
I like that, man. This dude giving some good gems, good life lessons, man. Let's get into it. When was that, like you say, consistent, hit it out the park? When was that pivotal moment where you like, all right, this real estate, this is my
I got
beach
this,
right
like
there.
this is it.
Yeah, this is it.
Because there was a moment, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a moment in everybody's career, and whatever you do, there's a moment where you're gonna hit and you know, like, okay, I'm world champion, you know, category here in whatever your perspective is.
That's right.
Mine for me was 18, possibly just turned 19 years old, 1 year into the real estate business. So yeah, I would have been right around 19.
Okay.
I hooked up with an older couple that were one of the top investors in the city of Niagara Falls for like way longer than I'd been alive, like 30, 40 years. Okay. Amazing. Hundreds of units. I'm talking people that did this wealth building game at a very high level, a very good chunk for themselves and built generational wealth. And that's something that we preach, generational wealth through property ownership and investment. And it's, like I said, we'll get into it. A lot easier than people think. But I met them, and through charisma, through, you know, just being super genuine with them and showing them that I was that young, hungry entrepreneur that they needed to succeed. Because it's about coming from value, right? When you can convince somebody that you are that person that's going to make it happen, and then you go out there and do make it happen, you've now built, you know, a bond with them, and those bonds will take you far, and they will talk about those bonds with other people, right? So we had a great start. These people actually sold me some of my first property. So I came with value for them, sold like 50 properties in 1 year for them at the top prices that the market had to offer at the time, which was very cheap. This was back when Niagara Falls wasn't that expensive.
Yeah.
Like you're talking 50, 60,000. People were like, wow, that's expensive.
Really?
They were like, that's expensive.
Yeah.
Like you could find brick doubles, you know, that people are getting $1,500 a month for in rent right now, each unit. You would finding those at like 50, 60,000.
That's crazy.
Max 60,000. I'm pushing it. It's like 40, 50,000.
That's crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
If we knew what we know now, we would have bought all those up, right? Everybody would have. We would have been like snatchies.
Right.
It would have been nothing.
Right.
But I was able to make some good plays with them. And after selling so many houses, they gave me the opportunity to buy some of those houses.
Wow.
Owner hold.
Yeah.
Very little money down.
Yeah.
You know, they did me a favor, but they did me that favor because I came from contribution. I'd helped them out first.
Yeah.
I helped them liquidate these properties, 1031 properties in other areas, and get them out of the Niagara Falls rental game, because it's pretty taxing, you know?
Yeah.
It's taxing if you're doing everything yourself, which they were.
Right.
And that's how you maximize your money, doing sweat equity.
Yeah. Yeah.
But once you get to a certain point, you should hire out, and there are smarter ways to manage portfolios. But this was an older time, right? These were much older individuals in their 70s now. They were from a different era.
No, that's powerful. I like that adding value. Adding value. Always add value before you go to ask or take from somebody.
Oh my God, yes.
That's a key gem he just dropped. People who got to pay attention. Add value. Most people just worried about what they can get from you or take from you. But if you lead with value, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be returned tenfold easily. So let's get it. In a competitive industry like real estate, what sets you apart from other agents? You know, we see a million signs in the yards when we driving through, but I only recall seeing your billboard. You're the only billboard when I'm driving through the falls that I'm like, okay, this dude's serious. Right there by the casino, you drive and you know that street. I know I'm going to see your billboard every day. So what sets you apart from the thousands, hundreds of other real estate agents in the area?
Yeah, this is gonna be a controversial one. You ready?
We ready for it?
It's definitely how I look, for sure.
That's right.
100%.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm athletic. I have green eyes.
Hey.
Come on, what sets me apart? I mean, I'm just saying. You know, I just need to leave it at that. And then because that's all that sets a picture apart, right? You know, if I just have a better image out there than you, yeah, it's gonna catch more eyes. Like if you put me in a suit and you put an overweight, I don't know, 5 foot, 7 male in a suit, and we're not going to look the same.
Fact.
My suit can even be less, worth less, and I'm still going to look better. Right. So being in shape really does matter. People respect that. I'm not even trying to be cocky. People actually respect if you can wake up in the morning and do something that mentally sucks, like go for a run, and it shows on your everyday appearance. This is your vessel. You wear your vessel. Of course, people are going to respect that, and people do judge off that. And I don't care if somebody says, "Well, that's not right." Fuck off, homie. That's just life,
100%.
And that's how life was, historically.
Yeah.
The ones that were in shape, were the most capable ones.
Right.
So now you already think I'm capable, because I can keep myself up, I can keep my physique up, I can keep my, aesthetics up. I'm already have a one up on you.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, if I can talk too. If I can articulate myself, come on, man.
Yeah.
How are you going to win?
Right.
And if I refuse to lose, if I'm an athlete, oh my God, I buried you.
Yeah.
I always think the best businessmen are ex-athletes. For sure. You already have one up on everybody. You have two of the key elements. You are mentally strong and nothing can break you. You've been through those hard scenarios. You've faced adversity at a very high level.
Right.
You're in shape. Yeah.
I like that, man. He telling you the truth, though. Honestly, in America, people say don't judge a book by a cover, but that appearance, people going to look at you, and if your clothes looking bummy and raggedy, you could be the smartest person in the world, the Bill Gates brain, but unfortunately in the society we look at, people judge you by looks and are you in shape, and that's the world we live in, and it's only worse with social media. Is only 10x, the 100x that. So I really like what he said, but the gym was the health, man. He take care of himself. He run, he work out. He do the things to keep his body in good shape to go out and get the wealth and build the wealth. So without your healthy body, like he said, like I'm not going to take somebody who out of shape. Like I just don't take them as serious because they're not taking themselves serious.
I mean, that's the same thing that, I definitely charge people the most. I'm not cheap to work with.
Right.
And here's the thing. If I'm going to negotiate on my money, you really going to hire me to negotiate on yours? Think about that. Right. I couldn't even negotiate my own money.
Right.
I'm supposed to negotiate yours?
Right.
Come on, bro. You know what I mean? So I don't negotiate my health.
Yeah.
I'm not going to negotiate these services.
Sure.
I'm giving you 100% because how you do something, and this is not my quote, this goes around the internet. Everybody says this, but how you do something is how you do everything in a sense, right? Yeah. So it's easy. Just do it all with passion and actually want to become better. Yeah. I mean, some people take this self-improvement shit to, a whole nother level, but self-improvement, you know what I mean?
Fact. Continuously improving it. That's all we got. So listen, that was a great segment right there. I like that. So yeah, it wasn't controversial. You telling the truth. That's how high-performing individuals like.
How tall are you, G?
6'3".
Oh my God, dude. So everybody's already looking. Yeah. Imagine a shorter person walking. They're looking at you immediately, for sure. Right? That's just how life is. Sure. We don't need to change society, the norms for most of history. You are automatically more capable in a sense. Now, if you are a smaller person that doesn't have, the best features, you got to really try harder, but the one thing you can always take care of is the way you look, for sure. That's something you can take care of.
Man, that's great advice, man. I appreciate you dropping that here. We need to hear that. I preach health and wealth every day. That's all we preach. So yeah. Okay. In the ever-changing, world 2023 pandemic, how do you stay up to date with the latest trends and changes in the real estate market? And how do you keep your clients informed? Because we look on the TV every day, mortgage rates up, down, we get so much news from a person that's not in the industry that it might keep fear. So how do you educate your clients and you stay up to date, educated, and knowing the latest deals, trends, changes in the real estate industry? How do you stay up to date and knowledgeable?
Yeah, it's the same as anything. You do it very often and all the time. So you're always in the loop because it's something that your life depends on. So, I mean, I relate this to, to martial arts, to athletics. Of course, you can be taught things, but going out there and seeing them and have them done on you, that's the way that you're going to learn the most. So when you truly realize what's happening in the market, it's because you're affected by what's happening in the market. You affect what's happening in the market. When you're a key player in the market, it all folds in one. So if I have properties that I can visually see are depreciating in value, well, I know that there's shifts happening in the market. If I'm constantly selling to clients and I can see that we are getting beat out in bidding wars, I know the market's still hot, right?
Yeah.
So I actually feel the market at all times to know what's happening. I think it's different for somebody that's not directly into the real estate game. For sure, now you're going to have to say, keep up on the market.
Yeah.
Whereas, I'm always in the market.
Yeah.
So when it shifts, I shift.
Yeah.
Either way,
Yeah.
and it's about being on time when the shifts happen. So feeling the shift. It's like you have to feel it, right? I mean, so many decisions you make in life. It's okay. Does this properly feel right? Like, is this a good decision?
Yeah.
The same with real estate, and then you weigh your options, right? Look at the data in front of you. So data is everything, right? I mean, we definitely market watch all the time, and I'm constantly on the MLS seeing the properties that are hitting, what's going under contract, how many days it's taking them to go under contract. For sure that there's factors, but for myself, it's definitely just selling to so many people and dealing with so many sellers, because I mostly deal with sellers.
Yeah.
So I feel the market every day.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the prices. They affect my own listings.
Yeah.
So it allows me to interpret it as it's happening.
I like that, man. This dude, he eats, sleep, and breathe real estate. That's what he's telling you, man. He not just here now. How many real estate agents have you seen? I got my real estate agent 6 months later, they selling cars or doing an office job. Like, this dude here for the weather the storm. So yeah, how often do you see people get their agent and then once they see how much work you got to put in, they on to the next career or whatever they doing?
Man, I done seen some that hit out the gate too.
Yeah.
Hit out the gate.
Yeah.
I'm talking like your first month in real estate, you got like $1 million in listings up on the market.
Yeah.
I'm talking you're expected to do great things, right?
Yeah.
And then they get the first punch in the face. And there's that saying, it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. And like the Rocky movie, that shit is life, homie. That is life. Because most get punched in the face and fall down. Everybody's got a plan to fight until you get punched in the face, right?
Yeah,
then
right.
What do? Okay, well, real estate's the same thing.
Yeah.
Especially if you own real estate.
Yeah.
Wow, what are you going to do the first time that you buy a house and it's underwater by the time you close because you didn't read the real estate market right? And then maybe rents drop. I mean, you have to be prepared. So doing things smart, right? You should never overextend yourself, first off.
I like that.
So I think for like new people, owner holds are a great thing. And people say, well, that's just not possible in my market. Okay, well, go to a different market. What do you want me to tell you?
Right.
Like, you're going to have an excuse for your whole life on why you can't do something? All right, well, that's why you're going to lose. First off, stop trying. You're going to lose. If you already have an excuse out the gate, you're done. You don't want to succeed. Because the guys that want to succeed are going to find a way no matter what roadblocks you put in front of them, they're getting through them.
I like that, man. How many times do you see the people come with the built-in excuse? I already know if we're doing a deal, a project, or working out. If somebody's coming with excuses the first time you say, hey, let's let's go to jiu-jitsu or let's go to boxing. And they're like, no, I heard that's tougher. So I'm like, all right,
man,
don't go with me then. We don't need to do this.
Now I know how you do life. I know how you are with everything now. Like, wow, that's your mentality?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's primal instinct. You can't even abide by your basic primal instinct to fight.
Right. I like
How
that.
are you going to do something mentally tough and make money?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Let's talk. I like what you said. That punch. What was the worst punch in the real estate game you took in your face and you was like, what the fuck? Either it was that moment where I need to quit or I just got to keep fighting. Like, what was that pivotal that punch in the face that just almost knocked you out, but you was like, I got to keep going. I got to pick myself up and keep going. What was that time? Take me there.
Yeah, man, I can say there's been a few times. I've been in the game for like almost 6 years now. Obviously, at joining it at 18 was just super weird.
Yeah.
So I would say even in the first 6 months, because I thought I was going to Q's to be a star rower, an athlete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now I got to do real estate out of nowhere. Getting in that and not seeing a check for the first 6 months almost took me out first.
Yeah.
Thank God I had a job at the time. I think I was working at like a GNC, and I was able to use the income there to sustain my life until the first paycheck started to come in. And then I would say the transition for COVID was super weird because I'm all about being there in person, meeting people, building bonds with sellers, relationship building.
Yeah.
So trying to sell houses without being able to meet people was pretty difficult.
Yeah.
But that's something that's thrown at you, you don't control, and you still have to face it, right? A lot of people almost create their own problems, or maybe they're more of a problem in their head than they actually even are as a real life problem, right? Yeah. We always make it seem worse in our head than it actually is.
Right.
But that was the first one that was like a wrench thrown at me that I couldn't control.
Yeah.
And I mean, thank God we had done enough sales previously to sustain our escrow accounts in order to not, go under.
Yeah.
And have to get like real jobs.
Right.
Because that would be horrible.
Right.
I'd rather be broke. I'd rather be a broke entrepreneur than work for one specific person and have to do the same thing over and over, repetition, and just essentially wither away.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't do some things, over and over, but imagine doing the same thing. You don't think that you'll have life regrets?
Right.
Okay. Read some of the obituaries of some of the richest men in history, and you will see what their regrets are.
Yeah.
Definitely doing the same thing over and over and not spending enough time living. In fact, there's a great quote by Marcus Aurelius that said, "You're afraid to die to do more of this," pretty much saying that you're not even doing anything crazy right now. How are you afraid to die? This is mundane.
Yeah.
God did not create you to be boring.
Facts.
He wants to see his creations prosper in every way.
I like that. Speaking of the boss, I want to pivot off one thing I heard you say. Tell the youngins, tell the kid like you. I thought I was going to Syracuse to college. How do you feel about, is school necessary, college necessary? After you finish high school, but tell me about that transition from, okay, college here, real estate there. My choice is 18. Time to get out of mama house and be a man. Like, how do you navigate the college? Should I do college or should I just jump into a trade, real estate, entrepreneurship? How did you kind of navigate that journey during that time?
I think everybody should take risk in life, especially when you're young. You have to take risk in life. You should also take risks based off calculated decisions and based off a track record, based off history. So if you don't have a history of being very self-motivated, being able to just do things, entrepreneurship might be a little bit hard for you right in the moment. Yeah. Right? So college might be a good idea in order to find yourself a little bit more because you're still pretty young, and most people, the reality is, don't have very hard lives, whether they think they do or not. So they're aging a lot slower. Yeah. Back in the day, 16, 17-year-old men, they were considered men at that age. Right. You were going out and killing lions in Buffalo. You know what I mean?
Facts.
That's how it was. You grew up a little faster.
Yeah.
Kids right now aren't growing up that fast. It's taking you real long to grow up. And then that's why you're like 30 waking up and being like, fuck, the real world, right? The
Playing
Matrix.
video games in your mom's basement.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, what was the question?
How
again,
did
man?
you do? What's your advice to kids facing that, and how did you navigate? All right, college or real estate. How did you get to that point?
Yeah.
And what advice do you have? Like you said, are you an advocate of college going into debt if you know what you're doing, or should you just jump off the porch straight if you're built for it?
Like if you're gonna be a doctor, a lawyer, you have to go.
That's what
right?
I tell high level.
You have to go.
Yeah, high skilled people. Yeah.
I think to be, even to be a politician, you should have to go to college, and you should also have to go to war probably to be a politician, right?
Yeah.
You should have to see everything.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that college is a great tool. I don't think it's for everybody, and in fact, I don't even think it's for most.
Right.
To be honest,
Right.
Because most professions don't actually need a college degree to be accomplished at a very high level.
100%.
Lawyers do because it's a lot of studying.
Yeah.
Doctors do, nutritionists do, things like that because it's quite a lot of studying.
Yeah.
The average, you can't tell me that a bricklayer needs to go to college.
Nah.
It's just not how it works.
Nah. That's right.
Electricians are trade schools.
Right. I like that. So kids, like he said, do a calculated risk. And even then, I went to college. I went to college for football. I saw so many people drop out, or they graduated and they're not doing what they went to college for. So be mindful, be strategic, plan it out, map it out if you're gonna go to college. If not, I would get a trade or get into sales or do something high level as soon as I got out of high school. Go to the Army, like he said. If you don't know what to do, go to the Army or something. But figure it out. Have a plan. Your mom and your dad aren't gonna take care of you forever. It's just they're gonna eventually die one day too. So be mindful of things like that. Let's hear about your biggest win. What's one of your biggest wins, or one of the best things that make your job real estate? You're like, this is what I do it for. What's one of your biggest success? We talked about the biggest failure. The biggest challenges. So let's talk about your biggest success. What's some of your biggest, most memorable, successful moments that you've achieved during real estate?
Yeah. Honestly, some of my biggest successes in real estate have been personal. I wouldn't say that they're necessarily numbers hit. I mean, we've had years selling, $20 million in real estate a year in a very low market. I think that's pretty good. And in most high markets where houses are $500,000, that's not that good at all.
Right.
But for us here, it is, and we've built quite a lot of wealth off that through buying properties and obtaining properties, and being able to do that with my mom is pretty great. To be young and have generational wealth, with the family is, to me, is my biggest success.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I preach, and a lot of people want sometimes to do everything on their own, and I don't think it's necessary. In fact, it's kind of dumb. Maybe it's just egotistical.
Yeah.
But you should use the resources that you have around you, and if you have people that you can be in business with that are going to make you a lot of money, and you can make them a lot of money, and close to your relationship, you should.
Yeah.
And I have one of my partners, Jason. We've been together for 5 years, as well. So long-lasting relationships. My relationships with the big investors early on, they flourished, and they've opened up so many opportunities. So being able to build the relationships that I've built is probably the biggest win, because I don't see wins as medals anymore or accolades through real estate. We've had all those, the highest awards that we can get in our companies, we've achieved.
Yeah.
And I don't sleep at night thinking, wow, I wish I had one more medal to hang up. That's weird.
I like that.
I think that's a very mundane life, and not one that is enjoyable. But I truly enjoy the moments getting to travel with my family and friends to different countries, relax on the beach, and talk about life. Those to me are the biggest wins.
I like
that. I think is a life worth living. Definitely not, you work to be able to enjoy. So you have to set actual goals. Most people don't set actual goals. They just think, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to make it. Okay, what does making it look like? Paint me the picture of making it. Because if you can paint me the picture, I can help you
guide you there. But you're probably going to be able to find it on your own if you have a clear picture.
Yeah.
In fact, studies show if you can paint the perfect picture and you truly have the motivation, and motivation is going to die. So motivation is probably not even if you have the willpower to keep going, you're probably going to hit that goal.
Yeah.
Very seldom do people not hit the goal, but you can't let anything stop you. Right? You can't have that excuse. There
Right.
can't be any excuse.
Right.
Because that's when you're going to paint it.
Yeah.
You know, you will paint that picture eventually.
100%.
So I enjoy the painting of the canvas, and that's what I'm doing right now. It's painting a canvas because life is a beautiful canvas.
I like this, man. This dude preaching gems. It's no numbers. It's the relationships. The relationships are worth more than the money. When you really understand that concept, you'll get over a lot of things. Yeah, the money's gonna come, but you could be the richest man in the world, but if you're not making memories with your family and the people closest to you, what did you really do? Did you?
Yo, what's one of the biggest wins is, when we were starting to go into this, real estate recession right now. Obviously, like, money's tight right now. People shouldn't be spending that much, money. There's never a bad time to make a smart investment. First off, let me say that.
No.
But being very frugal with your money, right now, you should conserve.
Okay.
You should conserve, and you should spend smart.
I like that.
We had an incident actually just a few months ago where my dog unexpectedly got hit by a car.
Wow.
Yeah, my black German Shepherd, and I love this dog to death. Her vet bill, man, to save her life was $20,000.
That's crazy.
Had to be dropped that day.
Right.
I'm so thankful that we could drop that and save her.
Talk
You
to
know,
him,
like
yeah.
it's nothing. Don't even blink. In fact, the vet got they almost kicked me out of the hospital because the second that she asked, she was like, "Do you want to sign a DNR, a do not resuscitate?" And I freaked out on the woman. Like, there's emotions going, dude. My beloved, princess just got hit by a car. I'm freaking out. When they were like, "Do you want to put her down because it's so much money?" I was like, "Are you out of your mind?"
Right.
I was like, and I was in sweatpants, man. I was at my prop. I was going to my property out in Belfast to go like fishing for a boys' weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm not dressed like I look like maybe I have funds, you
Yeah.
know. But the second that they gave us the bill, I mean, we paid it immediately to save the dog, and the doctors were absolutely fantastic. But they definitely got mad at me for cursing up a store in their office when they asked me should we not revive her. Of course you should fucking revive her. You should put yourself in a position to be able to revive her. What if that's your mom?
Right.
What if that's your grandma?
Right.
What about if that's anybody, close to you in any situation? People that get mad at people who want to make a lot of money, you're an idiot because you've never felt anything bad happen, okay?
Yeah.
The people with the most money can make a lot of good in the world. Those are the people that have the power to do good. You don't have the power to do shit. You're going to sit at a soup kitchen serving soup, and you think that that's changing the world? Shut up.
Yeah.
No, there's people with millions that pay for whole villages to be fed.
Yeah.
Right? But you might look at them like those people should pay more in taxes. Should they pay more in taxes, or should they help people more?
Yeah.
Who should they pay more? The government? You think they should pay the government more in taxes? Come on.
Right.
Don't be stupid.
Tell them. There's a lot of sheep out here, man. They don't know what they get mad at the
Followers.
rich people, and then they want to drag the people down. But these are the people who really work hard, stimulate the economy, providing value to the world. So yeah,
And you can do it too. Is the crazy part.
100%.
Like, equal opportunity is
100%.
real.
100%. What advice? Let's get some current. What advice do you have for people right now today looking to sell or buy their first property or get rid or sell? What's some advice you got for the people right now, just off the top of your head?
Go to investor meetings. Find people that have done it around you and reach out to them. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Do a lot of research and find the market that you want to be in, right? So if you're in LA, that's obviously not the best market to start to invest in. It's completely overpriced. You probably don't even have any money. That's not the right area. There's places like Detroit, Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
There's places where you can enter and then maybe find a good real estate agent in the area. Talk with other local investors.
If you're in the Falls, we going to Noah. We only going to Noah, y'all. That's it.
Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you. So wherever you want to be, talk to a local expert and then find out how you actually want to buy this property. So like how I bought my first ones were owner holds. Basically, the seller is holding the mortgage for the property. And I don't want to get in too much on how exactly to do this. Go do your own research. But owner holds, owner financing, that is by far the best way to break into it because you can buy with very little down. Maybe your interest rate's a little bit higher, like 8%, but who cares? Once the property starts cash flowing and you've renovated, because hopefully you have money on the side to be able to renovate it. Maybe you only bought this house for $20,000. You have another $30,000 on the side. You renovate it. Maybe your house is worth, I don't know, $100,000, $150,000. Let's say it's worth $100,000. You go to the bank, ask them to refi it. They're going to give you 80% of it. Well, now you have 80,000, so you can pay off the debt with the seller to not pay any more interest and get that out the way. Then you can use that money, go buy another property, maybe do it owner financing. Maybe you buy it all cash. There's so many ways. So properly do your research. There's so many clips now and reels on how to invest in real estate. I don't think that there's any excuse for somebody to say, I don't know. No, you haven't looked. You haven't looked and you're just assuming that you don't know because it's a lot easier than people think.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally, the keys are on YouTube. YouTube will tell you how to be a millionaire. People just won't listen. Selective hearing is insane.
I like it. They pick what they want to be outraged. They worried about news, watching CNN and politics when you could spend that same energy on studying YouTube, how to get your money, how to change your situation, how to improve your mindset. So yeah, I like that though. I got some homework to do. Owner holds. I got to look that up tonight. I'm gonna study owner hold, owner financing, see if I can't learn something and try to get into the real estate game. I did my real estate. We did a video on YouTube, man. I bought a $5,000 house off Craigslist, like in the middle of the pandemic in Buffalo. Turns out this house was on the demolition list. I was just being blind. I'm really ignorant in real estate, but I was just trying shit, taking action. Then I got some contractors, got beat across the head by the contractors. But I still believe in real estate to this day. Like, my dad gave me his house in Tennessee. So he gonna pass that down to me for sure. But I want to get more in tune with the real estate. So I'm gonna leverage Noah's knowledge and try to put some plays together. But
we've met before, and
sure.
and obviously now we're reconnecting and we're gonna be making plays. So
definitely
by the next podcast, I'm sure you're gonna have some stuff to talk about.
I love to have you anytime. Also, on the investor side, speak to them from a real estate investor. You're the agent, top agent in the area easily. Talk about the importance of the investment piece, because you don't hear a lot of real estate agents that are investors. They just all about sales.
Imagine trusting somebody that hasn't done it. Oh my God. Would you walk in a gym and hire a personal trainer that's not in shape?
Right.
Really? You would? I mean, that's a real thing?
For sure. No.
That's life.
Yeah.
Right? So how am I going to trust a real estate agent that doesn't own a lot of property?
100%.
You just own your house? Why sell it then? I own my other house. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Everybody owns a house. My neighbor owns a house. How about he sells it for me? He puts it up.
Facts.
Why not? Right? You don't really know anything until you actually own real estate, and own multiple properties. Then you feel what a house is made of, what it takes to actually, fix a house, to renovate homes, to bring them from the ground up to the studs. Like, I think your real estate agent should have to have many flips, many renovations under their belt. You should know what's behind my walls, right? You should know about electricity. You should know about different HVAC systems. You need to have an in-depth knowledge about the house, because you're essentially the first home inspector when you go through this house. I mean, I'm looking out for problems for my clients. I'm looking out for gems that the house has to offer, that they may not appreciate as much. Yeah. But because I own property and I've renovated a lot of property, I understand these things. And I do it with a lot of old homes. New homes are pretty simple. Yeah. Old homes, it's really hard. Yeah. So I've actually restored homes. I can tell you about old school homes. I can tell you how to refinish woodwork that's been here from the 1800s. Yeah.
That's real knowledge, man. Give us some stats, man, if you don't mind sharing. How many doors do you currently own or invested in? How much? If you don't mind saying.
It could be somewhere in
round
like
numbers, don't tell them all.
In the 30s to 40s.
Sheesh. That's 25.
And that's definitely not all solo. but
Yeah.
that's, you know, what they're staking.
That's it. Hey, man, 25 years old, 30 plus doors possibly. That's insane, man. Listen to him. He's super knowledgeable. That's awesome. Have you did any flips?
Definitely.
How many flips have you did?
Because I do all my flips with my mom. We have we have a company that is ours solely, and we do pretty much only our flips. We don't really flip for other people.
Yeah.
But we have a crew of guys as well. Awesome guys.
Yeah.
We've probably done about 7.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So
some more extensive than others.
Yeah.
Some light renovations in there.
Yeah.
Lipstick on a pig, getting them gone, you know, for good prices.
That's
Other full extensive rehabs, taking them down to the studs.
Yeah.
New electric, new plumbing.
Yeah.
Whole house rewired. It's
I definitely got to work with this dude. So, let's talk easiest in the real estate, easiest path of entry for day one real estate person, never did real estate but wants to start. What does he need to start with? Flipping, wholesale, become an agent, investing. Which path or pillar do you think is the most practical before zero knowledge real estate? They could be a entrepreneur or whatever they do, but zero knowledge at day one real estate. What do you think is the best path to be successful?
Well, the path that has the most fruit in the end is definitely the real estate investor.
Okay.
You make the most money in the end. The one who invests in real estate will win in the end.
Yeah. For sure.
You're probably not going to be a top agent.
Yeah.
Most people aren't just going to come and be a top agent. It takes quite a lot, and you have to go through a lot of headache. You have to be able to deal with many personalities. You have to be able to put your ego to the side all the time. Most people they're not going to do it. It's not practical.
Yeah.
Plus, your market might be flooded with agents. You might have more agents than there are houses to sell, right? So it's going to be very competitive in a sense. So I would say that that's probably not the best option. Now, if you feel like you have great agent qualities, fantastic. Go for it.
Yeah.
Be the best that you can be.
Yeah.
But you're talking about for the masses.
Yeah.
For the masses, it's definitely to be the real estate investor. And to do that, obviously, you want to have a good agent, or maybe you have the skills necessary to be able to find deals yourself, and you have some charisma to you, and you can negotiate your deals, your contracts, maybe get some nice owner financing.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You know, the more you can do yourself, the more sweat equity you put in, you're going to be better in the long run. Then you can leverage it out. But you have to be able to do everything first. Everybody wants to leverage something out, and they haven't done it themselves, you know, a million times. So you're not even a master at it, and now you want to leverage it out to somebody else. So how are you going to properly explain it to them when you haven't even gone through all the scenarios yourself? So first is going through all the scenarios yourself, you know, trials and tribulations, you know, fail forward. You have to fail, right? How can you win truly if you have never failed?
Right.
You have to fail. It's inevitable. It's part of the process. It's supposed to happen.
I love that.
The steak is always better, you know, when you were eating Spam before. The steak's never as good if you've been having steak your whole life.
Yeah. I like that, man. That's 100%. So investing, real estate investing, easiest path. So let's get into it, man. We know Noah, top real estate agent, Western New York. It's already sealed in the book. But now let's get to know Noah the person, man. Get into how he think, how he's been so successful. Because people like Noah, if any field you would have put him in, he would have been successful. If he was selling cars, if he was running tech company, whatever he does, this guy's mentality, he would have been successful in anything he does. So let's get into the mindset, man. I know you talk on health. What's your health routine? What do you do? How do you eat? What do you work out? What's that look like? How much hours a day do you spend on getting your body and your mind right?
You know, I don't really train for aesthetics anymore. And I used to when I was a kid, you know, when I was young in the real estate game, I was definitely huge in that, like the way you look, the aesthetic of it. So I was probably in the gym 6 days a week at that time, like an hour and a half a day.
Yeah.
Way too much time to be giving to, I wouldn't say to your body, but to just such an activity like staying in the gym, not networking. I think that, you know, realistic like 30 minutes for just the aesthetics is fine a day, you know, and you could even do that 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's what are you doing outside of the gym? What are you eating? Like that's where you really need to, watch. Like that's the all day task, right? It's what am I putting in my body? So what do I put in my body when I wake up? I immediately drink like 30, 40 ounces of water.
Right.
And then I'm having a black coffee, right? And then I have one black coffee, for the morning, and that's fine, and that's really just to suppress the appetite, and get a little bit of caffeine punch in there. That's cool, and then stretching. I got my bird, so I put my bird on my shoulder, my dog, and I stretch for like 30 minutes, work on my posture, and just get my body limber and loose for the day. Because if there's anything that was out of line when I was sleeping, I got to get that out early so I'm not dragging that pain with me through the day. And then if I know something is still bothering me and I can feel like, man, something doesn't feel right in the shoulder, and I've had double shoulder surgery, so I know when something's off in my body.
Yeah.
And I'll feel that, and then I know I'm calling my chiropractor.
Yeah.
Or I'm calling my masseuse, and I gotta get somebody over here to take care of that, because that's gonna hold me back.
Yeah.
That's gonna hold me back from accomplishing what I want to accomplish with clients, what I want to accomplish, in jiu-jitsu, what I want to accomplish in life. It's gonna hold me back. So I gotta get that taken care of. It's gonna start to affect my mood. After we stretch in the morning, I'm probably not eating till about 2:00. I like the idea, and this is something that's maybe only been happening for the last year. I like the idea of suffering in the morning, like waking up and doing something that sucks. Like, all right, man, let me suppress my appetite. I've already been fasting all night. Let me get through this hard work before I eat, because that simulates what our ancestors used to do back in the day. I mean, you used to get up and go. You had to hunt for your food. There was no time to eat. It was time to get to work. It was survival.
Right.
So in the morning, I'm in survival mode. I'm going out there and I'm making it happen. And that could be me hunting, that could be me going to martial arts, and that could be me going out trying to make $1 million, in real estate. Right. Whatever it is, it's something that is taxing and that needs to be done, and it should be done fasted. If you really, really need energy, no problem, do it. Yeah. For me, it just works. Yeah. I like working on fats, in my body, and I don't need that food in the beginning of the day. I like that. And then at 2, 3 o'clock, I mean big steaks.
Yeah. Talk to them.
Big pieces of ribeye, New York strip, loins. I mean massive amount of steak. Yeah. And then I mean fruits, vegetables from 2 to 10. I might eat 2-3 times in there, and I'm probably taking in 180, 200 grams of protein, but I'm not tracking it at all, to be honest.
Me neither.
I'm just giving it a window and eating a lot of the good food and letting my body feel like, all right, where do we want to be? And I just feel that within that small time frame, I don't get bloated for my work day, because my work day, if I'm grinding in real estate, is realistically from 7 to 2. Yeah. That's when I'm most productive. Yeah. The rest, I like to just be in the office, catching up on paperwork, kind of winding down, getting ready for the evening, which is, a lot of jiu-jitsu.
I like that, man. I like what we're going to get into the work schedule, but let's talk about jiu-jitsu, man. The name on Instagram. Follow him on IG, man. Jiu-jitsu real estate, man. Combat sports. I like the box, but combat sports. He talks about the man-on-man ancestor warrior mentality. Let us into the jiu-jitsu warrior journey. I think that all men should do combat sports, one way or another. Something tough, challenging. It's nothing like that. So explain it to him.
For sure, man. I was just running at Delaware Park with my partner David Harris yesterday, and man, dude's a beast. He's a boxer too. Yeah, hell of a boxer. We were hitting the pads, doing a 2-mile run, a lot of calisthenics, combat sports. Something everybody should know. Imagine being out with your girl in a dark alley walking one day and somebody attacks you and you not being able to defend yourself. Come on, really? Basic human instincts, you have to know how to fight. And I'm not saying that you have to compete in anything. Those are personal choices. Right. But everybody should be able to defend themselves. And whether it's jiu-jitsu, I actually think for self-defense, I think boxing and wrestling are the two best things to have. If you can box and then somebody can't take you down, but you can take them down and then box their head off, you're going to win most fights. Yeah. You're going to win most fights against even jiu-jitsu guys. That's just the art form that I choose and love. But it definitely, as far as just purely a martial art for self-defense, it would have its flaws if that was the sole purpose.
Yeah. What's the sole purpose? Talk about the art of jiu-jitsu. Explain it to me. I don't know much about it.
No doubt. Art of jiu-jitsu, especially for me, strangle you unconscious, break the limbs, right? In competition.
Yeah.
And then if we're not in competition, it's the art of joint manipulation, the art of strangleholds, being able to submit opponents, being able to control opponents. Jiu-jitsu is very good for larger opponents to be able to control big individuals quite easily if they really know what they're doing. So jiu-jitsu works great against an untrained opponent who is maybe trying to get the best of you, and you're a skilled jiu-jitsu athlete. You will more than likely win because you will be able to, if not take them down, get to their back and choke them out or break their arm. And usually the fight's done if somebody's arm is broken.
Definitely. That's crazy. But yeah. Beast mode, man. This dude, beast mode. He not only killing the real estate game, man. He trained to kill too as well. All men, like you said, you should at least know how to defend yourself. That's a base instinct. I mean, if say the power go out, the internet go out, and we just in war mode, like man, the weak, it's no place for the weak, man. You're gonna be food day one of a catastrophe. You turned into food. You can't protect your family. You can't do anything. You're of no value once all the internet and the shiny good objects protecting you and living you in your bubble, man. So you got to prepare for that. But let's go back. Another thing you said, I like when you talked about. Go back to work. Just a minor moment. How you said the flow. You know the hours that you're most productive in. I think that's it. People telling us they grinding for 16 hours. I'm like, man, like that's kind of unnecessary.
You're gonna burn.
Facts.
You're gonna burn out. Like that's cool. I grinded for 16 hours for 2 weeks. What was the repercussion after that? Because I can sustain it. I've learned how to sustain it, and I've done work 12 hours a day.
Right.
You know, I done that before.
Right.
I done burnt out.
Facts.
Dude, man, there was a time I had deals lined up in Mexico, cribs lined up in Mexico. I was going to sell it all, go there, peace on everybody. You know, see ya, retired, 22, 23.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm chilling in my house in Mexico. I'll fish on a boat for the rest of my life. Poor, as long as I got this.
Yeah.
Because I was burnt out.
Yeah.
I'd worked so much.
Yeah.
I'd helped so many other people that I wasn't focused on myself. So then, I realized focus on the time that you are most productive in and doing 80 to 90% of all of your deals, and just do that even better.
Yeah.
And the other time, use it for your sanity.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think it's a good idea unless you're a beast to maybe only work 2-3 hours a day.
Right.
But if you're that guy,
Yeah.
but then if you're that guy, you've built something crazy, at that point, and that's the result of it. But most people, you work really hard in the beginning, a lot of hours to get to a certain point, and then scale it back to not get burned out and focus on the hours that you're most productive in.
That's awesome. How do you know, for people who don't know what you're talking about, what's the advice for them to find their most productive hours? Like, how do they, like, okay, from 12 to 2, I'm zoned in. Like, what's your best advice for them to kind of find that flow state when they just clicking on all cylinders?
Trying it all. Yeah. Work 12 hours a day, when you're really young, if you have the luxury, if you are young and can do that, work really hard when you're young because you can take anything that's thrown at you. The kids nowadays that, they're so soft, man, but like when they're so soft, it's crazy. Yeah. It's insane. Yeah. Because back in the day, 16, 18 years old meant you had all the energy in the world, meant you were a dog, Those football players, like anybody, when you were that age, you had it all in you. Jacked up on hormones, ready to rock, focus those toward the right thing and you'll be great. So I think it's getting back, to that. I think that, man, it's so unfortunate that the kids now don't have that energy because like I had that energy. A lot of people around me had that energy. And I'm not that far off from this generation. I'm very close. 25? Yeah, I'm 20. I'm 25. I'm only talking about the 16 to 18-year-olds. That's right behind me.
Yeah, but, if you got it, you got it, though, in any generation, so you one of the ones. So that's all it is, man. Out of all your friends you went to high school with, how many other high performers do you really, like, just, they might not be doing what you're doing, but they killing it. Getting their money, getting their time, spending it how they want to spend it. How many people, statistics-wise, just give us a percentage. 80, 90%, or 20%. It's only 20% of your friends doing that. What you doing? 1%?
One.
That's how it is. That's how life works. It's only gonna be a select chosen few, a handful.
And it's self-choice, on their part. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate. Most people are detrimental to themselves.
Yeah.
They hold themselves back for so long.
Yeah.
They never allow themselves to be great.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You have to give yourself the opportunity. That's why I say it's important to fail.
Yeah.
It's really important to fail.
Yeah. But we've seen a lot of people like you. I like what you said, where these kids have never had it hard. So one failure, they ready to jump out the window and kill themselves.
Or you can't even bully now in school. They'll like arrest you for bullying. It's crazy. Dude, I got picked on, son. I got bullied. I got my ass whooped. Maybe I was the last, but yeah, that was real.
Yeah.
I done been on the shit end of the stick in fights, bro. Many of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That builds character, homie.
Facts.
That makes you who you are. That's not a bad thing. My God, you know what you're doing to these kids by not letting them get bullied?
Yeah.
Wow, soft. Man.
Yeah. Survival of the fittest at an early age. It teach you that, like, man, you gotta get in where you fit on the food, the hierarchy change.
And it wasn't like I got up and like I was fighting and whooping their ass. No, man, I was like getting my ass whooped. I'm saying that stuff, becoming who I am, came later in life.
Yeah.
But you know what? There ain't one bully of mine doing better than me.
Exactly.
Not even close.
Exactly.
And they all in my DMs. Dude, you doing so good.
Yeah.
And respect. You know what I mean? Because I know that's life.
Yeah.
I know now I don't hold grudges against them.
Fact.
How I hold a grudge? You help make me who I am. You part of the story.
Yeah. I
You
like that.
supposed to be there.
Yeah.
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 I'm not supposed to have a easy childhood. What do I think I am, privileged?
Right.
Fuck
Right.
that. I don't deserve it then.
Yeah.
I'd rather have gone through it all because I know how sweet it tastes.
Yeah.
I know how sweet the beach in Mexico tastes.
Yay. What's your favorite part of Mexico?
The Yucatan region
Okay.
for sure. Progreso, Merida area. One of the safest places in the world. One of the most beautiful beaches. Very hospitable. And some of the best food you'll ever eat.
I gotta get that. Okay, back into that though. Life ain't a beach though. That's where he was at, man.
Yeah, man. It ain't. And if you go through the hard stuff, you can enjoy the white sands.
Yeah.
But you don't deserve it if you never gone through the white sands.
Yeah.
If you never gone through the hard that life has to offer. Because life has a lot of pain and it has a lot of beauty. And if you go through the pain early, you can enjoy the beauty for the majority of your life.
I like that, man. I like that. He said he not holding grudges, man. Business is business. No, we not holding grudges. It wasn't that serious. It helped build him into the top performing, killing beast mode machine that he is now. So shout out to bullies, man. You're not doing better than my boy now. How was it? Was it worth it? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see though. But what's one of the most important life lessons you learned thus far? Give us top life lesson you learned.
Yeah, life owes you nothing. Life owes you nothing.
Yeah.
Not a damn thing. And you got to go out there and get it all.
Every day.
But life can give you everything. Life can give you everything you want.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to go out and get it.
I like that, man.
And nothing is ever gonna come to you. If you're waiting for something to come to you, you will die. So don't do that.
Yeah.
Go out there, make it happen yourself, and create the life that you actually want.
Kill what you eat every day, man. Every day you gotta earn it. Every day we gotta earn it. Nobody ain't gonna pay our bills. Nobody coming to save us, man.
You got to climb the mountain.
I love you, man. You read books?
I do.
What's your favorite book? Give these people a book to change their life or mindset.
Okay, I'll give them the top one.
Let's give it to them.
I'll give them the top one.
Let's give it to them.
48 Laws of Power.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You know? Oh, he's got it?
It's somewhere. It's in my phone. If not, I definitely read it 2 or 3 times. It's in there somewhere though.
48 Laws of Power
Look up there.
is a book that will absolutely change your life.
It's right there, I think.
If you guys haven't read that book, but let me tell you, that book is it's almost evil in a sense. Like it's almost evil. In fact, there's a great podcast out there with the author of this, Robert Greene, and Jordan Peterson, and Jordan's daughter. I think her name's like Kayla Peterson. Great podcast if you guys are podcast people as well. But this book will absolutely change your life if you actually read it and internalize it. and put your ego to the side and understand what the book is trying to relay,
Yeah.
it will change your life
There you go.
for sure.
He giving you book. He giving you this guy giving you gym
Great
after
book.
gym. It's on you to take it or leave it. All he can do is try to get you to think differently, and that's all we can do. I can't teach you to do anything. I just want you to think differently. I hear you talk about travel, Mexico a lot, man. What's your most memorable travel experience you've had, and what made it that?
Yup. Man, 5 countries in 2 weeks with, maybe it was 3 weeks, with my mom. Yeah, me and my mom did Asia when I was 19, first year in the business, just started like making money. Crazy experience. We left for Singapore was going to be our first stop. We left for Singapore. By the time we landed in Singapore, I don't know, I think it's like a 12-hour, maybe a little bit more flight, probably more like 16 hours. My business partner at the time, my first business partner I'd ever partnered with, he actually quit. He quit, and I had 35 active listings on the market.
Wow.
I'm halfway across the world with my mom, with a new relationship just built with this big seller, 35 active listings on the market, and I'm in a whole nother time zone.
That's crazy.
It overwhelmed. The moment was too big for him,
Yeah.
for sure.
Pressure.
For sure. It was just like, oh my God, and it turned out to be a very bad mistake on his part,
Yeah.
long term.
Hey.
It is what it is.
Give him a message. Give him a good message. Man.
Sorry, dude. Sorry, man. Unfortunately, I hold nothing against you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The lives speak for themselves.
Hey.
But being out there, we did, man, I'm going to butcher. We did Singapore. We did Vietnam. We did Thailand. We did Hong Kong. And I'm missing. We also did Switzerland. Yeah, we stopped in Zurich, Switzerland for a full day. That was awesome. Great fun, do. That was definitely my best memory. Real estate funded that, and to be able to do that with my mom at such an early age gave me a cultural experience that I will never forget. That those cultural experiences help you as a person. They help you understand people. Yeah. When people only know what's around them, that's very short-sighted thinking. It's not going to breed long-term growth. You need to be exposed to many people, many cultures, many things.
Yeah. I like
right?
that.
If you want the best car that's going to be perfect for you in life, well, you have to have driven a truck. You have to, have had a van. You have to have had a sports car. Yeah. A Nissan. You have to have everything to know what you really want. Otherwise, you don't know.
100%. 100%. So, yeah, you hear it. Travel. Get outside. It's bigger than your hometown or your home city. It's so much bigger.
Exactly.
Don't get stuck into that small-minded, small-town think. How often do you see that small group think? This is the way we've done it forever. This is the only way to do it. This is how I'm going to do it till I die. How many times have you seen that mentality?
That's everybody. That's all around. That's the other 99.
Yeah.
That's the other 99.
Yeah.
Because once you're out of that, that's when you grow. That's when you become the 1%. It's just a mindset shift. I mean, these guys aren't different than you.
No.
They just mastered their mind before you did.
Yeah. That's all. And it comes in time, and everybody's not time to see the light. But when you see the light, you can never go back to that old way of thinking. But you talk to about your mom a lot. Is she your mentor? How's your mom helped you in business and life? And I just did a shout out to my mom, Donna Tarver. I love my mom. So how influential has your mom been just in life, real estate, business, traveling, showing you the world? How much does your mom mean to you?
Man, my mom definitely all I got, for sure, man. And I think for most people, your mother's your number one supporter, right? I mean, that's your rock. She gave birth to you. Nobody's gonna be there like your mom. I'm sure we can all speak for it that whenever that problem comes around, it's like, Mom, I need your advice.
Yeah.
Right. And she's somebody who did the real estate game at a very high level in Miami for many years, way before I was born. And she had built, multi-million-dollar business out in Miami. She was affected by the market crash in '08. We owned a lot of property, went under. She has a lot of experience.
Yeah.
She's gone through the hardship. She has experienced the recession. She's gone through it all. So I look to her for advice because that's the path that I've chosen.
Yeah.
Right. So somebody that has painted the picture before is going to be my mentor. And that happens to be somebody very close to me.
That's awesome.
So I'm for sure going to use the tools I have at my advantage. And we both prosper very well because of it.
Yeah. I love that. Shout out, Mom. Shout out, Noah.
Shout out,
man.
Mom.
That's awesome. What's your biggest passion in life? Have you found your passion? You know, people always talk passion. I don't think I found mine yet, per se. I'm headed in that direction. Do you know your passion? What you're passionate about? What would you wake up every day and do for free?
Outdoors. Listen, before, I just said this on an Instagram story the other day. Before I'm a real estate investor, before I'm a jiu-jitsu athlete, I'm an outdoorsman. I'm an Eagle Scout. You know what I mean? I grew up in the outdoors. I was hunting at 8 years old. I've always spent my life in the outdoors. My free time is spent in the outdoors. I walk the woods at night without fear.
I like that.
It's just where I'm happy. It's where I'm peaceful at.
Yeah.
I feel a connection with the outdoors.
Yeah.
Some people say that they even feel like I talk to animals. I can bond with animals very quickly.
Yeah.
But it's because I have a genuine care for the outdoors.
Yeah.
And things see that. And I'm a hunter. I believe in killing what you eat. And I believe in giving back tenfold, what you take.
Yeah. I like that, man. Shout out nature. I love nature. I go out here every day in the morning. It's like healing. Nature is almost kind of like my church and healing. So he said he walked the woods at night. I got another one of my friends who outside in the night. I love that.
Crazy white boys, right?
Hey, the nature heals though. That's a big gym. Go out, cut this phone off, and go out in nature for an hour, 2 hours. You lose track of time, and I guarantee you come back refreshed. I got you. We talk about some AI. You using AI in the business?
I'm not using any AI at the moment, but I think we are going to integrate some AI into the software, into our systems. I'm personally not that much of a fan of AI.
Yeah. What's the reason?
That's so unknown. Call me closed-minded if you want, but something that can become smarter than us. I don't know. I've seen iRobot, man. Like that's where my mind's going. I'm thinking that I adopt this and a robot's gonna come in and shoot me in my house. Yeah, for sure.
Nah, definitely got to see both sides. I agree. I mean,
because humans take things too far.
Yeah.
If we didn't, if there was a chance that we would never take it too far, I think it's a fantastic tool. I think it's gonna replace a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
I think just like industry it's going to push a lot of people out of their work, but I think it can be great. I think it needs to be controlled, and I think that there is maybe a lack of control at the moment. I mean, I've seen crazy stories about AI right now. You're just like, wow, is it really like that?
It's the people programming it, because earlier when I haven't been on it yet and typed it in, but like you would say good things about Joe Biden and it'd have this, but then it say good things about Donald Trump and it's kind of skewed to whoever putting the programming into there. The human, whoever program it can get political and it's not being equal.
And if we think that that's, reality and that this AI knows everything, now we're going to start believing that. So now we're influencing, at a higher level. So I just think it's very dangerous, but everything is dangerous in the wrong hands. Media has been dangerous, for the last, decade, because that's been in the wrong hands. And I think this might just be another tool, which is unfortunate because AI has great potential and I think could do a lot of good.
Yeah. You wanted me to ask about do you use virtual assistants in your business? Do you have any assistants?
Yup, I got one. His name's Julian from the Philippines.
Hey, shout out the Philippines. What's
shout
our girl?
Julian from the Philippines.
Thanks. How has that helped your business and take it to the next level? Just tell people it's not that expensive. Not that expensive, and it saves you a lot of time. So
I'm not gonna say pennies on the dollar, for what you're paying for an actual assistant, but it's like, I don't know, I'd say a fourth of the cost. It's quite a big saving. Maybe you could have 4 virtual assistants for the price of 1. I think people have their place as well, but I think you can level the right tools. For very simple tasks that are just time consuming. You don't want to be paying a high profile person to do that. Plus, our money goes a long way there. They might be high profile where they are, and they're making great money. I mean, we pay for people's lives.
Right.
So, and he works, full time, and it's still a quarter of the cost.
100%.
So he's definitely helped us a ton. All of our contracts go to him. He disperses them fantastic with numbers, spreadsheets, all the stuff that would take us so much time to do.
Right.
They can just do. So we love that.
Talk about the importance of being, like you say, a businessman, knowing, hey, I'm not Excel master. I'm not paperwork master. Let me hire out. Don't let me rack my brain and do something that I don't like when it costs a fourth of the cost. Let me just outsource this. How does that, you meet some businessman like who do, they got control. I want to do this, this, and this. Hey, man, you need to do what you're great at and sub out or delegate the rest out, man.
Very simple. Are you doing you need to be doing the 20% that brings you 80%. Simple as that.
Great.
If it's not the 20% that brings you the 80%, stop doing it. You know, you need to do what you're good at. It's going to bring all the money. Everybody else can do everything else. Once you truly are bringing in all that money, you know, once you become that guy, yeah, you need to outsource the small tasks. That's the only way to truly grow. And it's going to hurt a little because maybe you have to put a little bit more money out there, but it will come back. And it's trusting the process. And most of the time, most businessmen in that position have gone through the process a few times, and it's just trusting in themselves and what they've already done. You know, going back to the basics that got you there.
Yeah, man. I appreciate
Taking risk.
I appreciate this knowledge you've been sharing with the people, man. They love to see it. They love to hear it. We're going to get you 2 more questions and get out. I know you're a busy man. We might could do dinner later. I don't know what you're doing later. We might go hang out.
I'm sure we're going to hang out after this.
If you could give one piece of advice to 18-year-old Noah from what you know now, what you got for 18-year-old Noah, man?
Oh, man. At 18.
Fresh out of high school, Syracuse here, real estate.
They're gonna hate me for this one. They're gonna hate me. Don't have any girlfriends. Stay single the whole time.
Yeah.
Wow, so much time. So much time just gets taken up. You
Yeah.
know? That's all it is. It's not like it's waste. It's just time being taken up. You know, when you're young, you need all the time you can get to be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, no distractions, man, like you said.
No distractions. Cut out all your distractions.
Cut them all out, man. Everything that's not bringing you value is a distraction. It's a distraction. It really is. Last question, man, before we get up out of here, man. What's the legacy you hope to leave behind, and how do you want to be remembered? How are we going to remember Noah when it's all said and done on that tombstone? What we going to...
I want to be a world champion jiu-jitsu fighter, and I want to be one of the greatest real estate agents that Niagara Falls has ever seen.
That's right. I mean, you're already on the path, so shit. The guy got billboards everywhere you look out here, man. 25, killing it. I'm trying to think of, my real estate agent friends I'm 34, so I've never even seen a 25. Every year he's on a billboard, top seller in the area, so, and he's 25, so in 5 more years, I can only imagine he probably gonna own the whole city. Probably be the mayor. I'd probably be the mayor of the Falls, man. Look at this kid, man. He ain't a kid no more. This a grown man making it happen in the community, doing a lot of positive for the community, getting people houses to sell, stay, providing shelter. That's one of the basic needs of food, shelter, clothing. That's in Maslow's hierarchy, man. Making it happen, high level performer, high performer at a young age. Hey, it's the mindset though. He got the mindset of the champions, man. And I appreciate him coming on today. I have him over whenever, and I look forward to doing deals and business with him. So yeah, appreciate you, man.
Appreciate
that. That was awesome. We got it good. How long we went?